Well, we did it. I honestly didn't think we'd ever get here, and I'm so happy that we did. We finally surpassed 150 subscribers. I was going to maybe do something for the 100th subscriber special, but at that point it was just blasting way past 100, and I think I was moving at the time, and it just didn't work out. But I would not miss the next milestone, which would be 150. And I don't really know what we're going to do at 300, but let's not worry about that, and let's get into what I want to do this time. So I stream a lot, and people keep asking some questions, and I don't mind being asked questions. In fact, I prefer it most of the time, but I figured a good celebration would be, what if I do like a AMA, Ask Me Anything? So probably a little bit annoyingly, over the last, I don't know, month or so, I kept saying, hey, if you have any questions, ask me here, and let's get them out of the way. I'll answer any and all questions, provided it's reasonable within, terms of service. And some awesome people actually decided that they are like, yeah, fuck it, why not? Let's do it. So with that being said, let's get into it. First question we have up, what is your favorite game of all time? Now this question isn't necessarily, in my opinion, an easy question to ask. I mean, it's not realistically easy for anyone to say, oh, it's this, oh, it's this, oh, it's this. At least in my opinion, not really. It's something that always gives you deep thought, and it's an answer to a question that's constantly changing, right? But if I had to go back, and I had to break down a game that no matter what, no matter how many times I played it, I'm always willing to play it through again from start to finish, and I love it to death so much, and I'll never stop praising it, is honestly tied. Like you can have like a top 10, you can have a top 5 or whatever, but I think for me it would be Dragon's Dogma. I think Dragon's Dogma for me was the perfect game for so long, and there's never anything, at least for the longest time, that could surpass it, and I truly believe that the sequel did. People can say that the sequel isn't as good or whatever, and they're entitled to their opinion, and I don't think it's fair, but I think that what the sequel did perfectly encapsulated the essence that Dragon's Dogma had. But if Dragon's Dogma 2 came out when I was a kid, I would have been flabbergasted for all time, but I still have to put it to the original one. No shade on the sequel at all. I love it to death. I really do. But nothing can really beat the amount of hours and honestly years across many different platforms of me just sinking teeth into playing it time and time again with a different playthrough, with different gear, looking up the answers to different quests that I didn't have any idea on how to solve, that sort of thing. That game for the longest time was like the essence of a video game, and you can't really beat that. A close second would be BioShock 2, which for the same time, it's a game that I feel like I'm so infatuated with that I could play forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and I could play so many different ways and how to play it, and I've gotten all the achievements when I had it on Xbox back in the day, and I never fell out of love with it. I love the story. I adore the story. First of all, the story is super endearing and super well depth, and it completely builds off of the foundations that the first game did, and it's a huge and massive shame that they never really went back to it after the second game, and I always found that it's like such like a massive missed opportunity. And but yeah, those two games are probably tied. I wouldn't put one over the other. But yeah, it would be Dragon's Dogma and BioShock 2. Those are probably my favorite games of all time. Second question, what inspires you? Now, this is a question that I was debating on if I should save to the last or not, because what inspires me is the potential of what can be, and I think that's fair. I don't do YouTube, I don't do streaming, I do none of this with any expectation to become famous or to create wealth. I don't. I know that time and time again, everyone keeps telling you that's the last mindset you should have going into, and I agree. If it happens, hey, that's fucking phenomenal. If it doesn't happen, well, I mean, at least you're having fun, or at least that's the hope, right? What inspires me is seeing people that are now these massive stars basically start out doing what I do, and now they are effectively tech giants in the YouTube world. And if someone is doing content almost identically to what I'm doing, then surely they and I can reach the same place, right? Maybe, 10 years down the line, I can get to a place where I can be financially stable enough through YouTube alone where I can just do what I love to do, plus way more, and exceed and survive and help those that I want to help, and not breaking my back every day and then coming home to stream. So what inspires me to continue the streaming, to innocently stress myself out over what is ultimately like meaningless things, I think the best part of all of that is the fact that I know what it can become, and if not, I know that it can grow community, and I know that it can grow to be a very, very welcoming and very, very beautiful place where everyone can come along and everyone can talk, and we don't have to agree on everything, but that's fine. That's what the gaming industry is all about. It's all about innovation and just batshit crazy ideas that will mend together to create something pretty awesome. What do you truly want to achieve with your channel? What steps are helping you reach that goal at this point in time? That's a heavy question. You can answer it like, you can be like, oh, I want to be rich and famous, and then you can move on. But that's not really what I want. What I've always wanted to do with a channel is what I've always wanted someone else to do with the channel. And if it exists, that's fantastic. Statistically, though, I'd never know. But I haven't seen it from my point of view. What I want to do is I want to do giveaways. That's all I've ever wanted to do. Like, a new game comes out, I've always wanted to be like, here's 5 keys we can give out to people in the community, and then we can have like game shows, and then we can give out, computer components. I want to do more giveaways. I'm not saying that giveaways don't exist on the internet. I'm simply saying not enough giveaways are going on the internet, and I think there's something sad about that. Everyone keeps giving to these creators, and I'm not throwing any shade, right? But people give to the creator, and the creator thinks that they're giving back by posting a new video or having Patreon only videos. And in a way that is, but what about the people who can't do any of that? Why are they just SOL? Oh, they get their videos for free. Yeah, but they're still part of your community, and I don't think that a paywall should emphasize more community status than others. I don't think that's usually fair in most cases, especially if you do video gaming, where it's statistically the most popular area for kids and teenagers, right? At that point, there's not really a lot that they can do, and even so, why are you comfortable taking money from someone that young who doesn't know the responsibility of what it's like to even have money? So what I want to do, my true end goal, is every month or every major release, we do a giveaway of either a game or whatever. I've done giveaways in the past before. Not many people know this, but I have done giveaways in the past, and every time I can, I always want to do giveaways. I did giveaways for Dragon's Dogma twice. I've done giveaways for a bunch of like smaller games that, you get from Humble Bundle and you don't really want some of them, and the ones you don't want, hey, that's perfect for a giveaway. I don't think that people are doing that nearly enough, because it's so, I'm not even talking about cost ineffective, but it takes such a lack of effort to do, and it brightens everyone's day, So that is ultimately what I want to do, and I think there's nothing wrong with that, and I think there's a lot of beauty in that. And again, I'm not shitting on anyone, but I do think that there needs to be more. I know there is a lot, but a lot like charity, a lot like good deeds in general, the world just benefits if you just have more of it, and I think that's what I want to do with my channel. What mainly keeps you motivated? I was sent this because I usually try to talk to some of my fans to wonder like how they got to my server or how they found me, because it's good analytics to have and to increase. And during one of the giveaways, I mentioned to this person, hey, you won this game. And in response, they told me that they play my videos in the background while doing art. Thank you for making stuff. Things like that. It warms, like, it does so much, you know. It's so hard to ever wonder why you stopped doing things in the first place. If you miss an upload, I often think, well, then this person won't have another video to watch for when they want to do art, you know. And I understand that there is a level of egotistical, like egotism in that, oh, of course they want to watch me because I'm great. That's not what I'm talking about here. It's the fact that someone is willing to go out of their way to specifically watch my things while they're doing a hobby. Because that's what I do, you know? When I'm editing, when I'm rendering, when I'm making a thumbnail, when I'm drawing specifically, I have things in the background that I listen to while I do it. It helps me focus. And to have someone of the same variety do that but use my videos, that is the greatest. That was one of the best and most heartwarming things that someone could have said to me, and they had no idea how positively that impacted me. That is what motivates me, the fact that that can happen to anyone, you know. I find it fantastic, and I find it amazing that anyone is willing to watch my content, but people who are willing to watch my content essentially as white noise, to some I can understand why that would seem to be more of like a bad thing, but to me that is a high honor, and I mean that legitimately, because I watch videos in the background of people that I really like, just hearing the voice of or appreciate what they say. It's a level of trust that gets accumulated, and I really like that. That is what motivates me. That is what makes me feel like I'm making the right decision whenever I decide to open Streamlabs or I decide to hit the record button. What is your current setup for making content, and would you like to upgrade? Absolutely, yep. I recently upgraded my... How do I word this? I recently upgraded my computer not too long ago. Pretty much right before Dragon's Dogma 2 came out, I kind of got a new graphics card, which for a while was like the only thing holding me back. Now, if I had to upgrade something, I would get absolutely another monitor. If you want to be a streamer, don't use one monitor, because relying on your phone for chat is not easy, like 90% of the time. Especially if you have an old phone that like can't make it through an entire stream, and you have to go and get your charger, or by the time stream's done, your phone's practically dead. It's pretty annoying, like 90% of the time. So absolutely, I would want a second monitor. In terms of like my computer's beefiness, I think my computer is fine. I think it can run anything that I would realistically want to play. If I had to get anything, I'd probably get another fan or two, because this thing gets pretty high. Not like danger hot, but like most games it runs at like a nice 60 degrees, and I'm a really warm guy, so I'm usually cooking streams, you know. I usually have a fan beside me, and lately, because it's summer and summers are hot, I usually have a big fan in the background that I usually turn off when I'm doing like recording video games, but when it's not, usually you hear like a faint hum or something in the background. That's usually the big fan, but if you watch the YouTube side of things, then you probably won't hear that nearly as much. But I mean, my setup's pretty good. I'm happy with it. I don't have any problems with it. I'm not the most tech savvy. I'm not the most computer knowledgeable, but if I had to, I would definitely like another monitor at some point. It's just not going to happen anytime soon, and that's fine. What drew you into being a content creator? Well, I haven't really been any strangers to this, but the reason I wanted to start doing YouTube content to begin with, at the very beginning, was because I started to do the thing that I hated the most. I started getting a lot of video games, and I never finished them before moving on to the next new shiny toy. I used to always have conviction to finish games through before buying the next one or before moving on to playing the next one. I started seeping away from that mentality, and I started, playing different games when I was currently playing a game. And I really didn't like that. I don't like wasting money, and to me that is probably a big waste of money, because it's not like if you don't like a game, that's one thing, but if you want to play something else because it's new and shiny and it's like, ooh, I want to play that, that is where I have a problem with it. And I started doing that, and I didn't like doing that, so I figured if I do a YouTube channel and I egotistically pretend that people watch it daily, then I can convince myself, hey, let's not move on. Let's sit ourselves down. Let's play this till completion, till we see endgame credits, and then, we can have comfort in moving on then. And so far it worked, Some games, if I didn't record, I probably would never have beaten them because I would have gotten distracted by other things. Digimon would be one of them. I like Digimon, and I like Hacker's Memory a lot, but those games, they can drag on. They can be very long, Sometimes there's ups and downs to those games, and having the commitment of forcing my ass to sit through them and play them to completion, I think I'm a better gamer for it. I think that these stories were fantastic, just held back by a couple of flaws that after playing a couple hours would get really, really grating, and I'm happy that I was able to have the conviction and the encouragement of having the channel and giving myself commitment like that to actually, get things done. And I think that was a massive help. How do you deal with negativity, and how do you push yourself forward as a content creator? Also, congrats. Oh, thank you so much. So how do I deal with negativity? Well, if you do anything on the internet, and I mean anything at all, the first skill you need to teach yourself is to have thick skin. I was no stranger to having thick skin. I'm a portly guy. I'm a big guy. I always was, and I probably never will not be. I have other I have other traits, so it may not, seem like that from a far distance. But growing up, I was a very pudgy. I was a very fat kid. And before puberty came in, I was a bit of a beach ball, and everyone and their mother made sure that they knew that I was fat. And that's other things too. Siblings, tease the living shit out of me. I'm the youngest of a family of 5. I'm no stranger to being called pretty much every name under the book. So, after you go through puberty and after you mature a little bit, you realize that words are they have the same power as long as, oh my god, what am I trying to say? Words have as much power as you're willing to give them, right? And I don't know most people that comment on my stuff, and I haven't really dealt with a lot of negativity yet, and I just know that it's a matter of time. I'm not that naive, but I am confident that I probably won't care is a strong word, but I probably won't acknowledge it as deeply as they may think so. Like they can tell me to KYS, or they can tell me to stop doing it. They can tell me I'm shit. They can do all that, but as long as I don't think that, then that's fine. We all have good and we all have bad days, and some days there's going to be that one comment that hits you harder than others, even though it's not true. And I think that I have enough willpower and conviction to not get affected by that nearly as much as others who probably don't have the same conviction as I do. There will be comments that hit me a little too deep. Everyone has like their bugaboos, right? And I'm not dumb enough to explain them all to you now, but they're very niche, and I doubt that anyone will really realistically intentionally hit it. And so that's enough what am I trying to say? That's enough processing power that I'm willing to give it. There's not a lot you can say that can actually hurt me. And even if you accidentally do, I know that you probably don't know me, and it's a complete accident that you managed to strike that nerve, so I probably won't even give you that much train of thought anyway. But how do I deal with it? The true answer is I'll let you know when I come across a lot of it. And because it's easy to talk shit when it hasn't happened yet, in all honesty. And the truth is, not a lot of negativity has happened yet. And when it does, I'm more than positive I have a lot of faith in myself to, you know, deal with it pretty much how I've always dealt with negativity. And that's just, you know, do I know I'm right? I do? Okay, let's get this done. Simple as that. So the next question, which is the last question, by the way, is a dual question. So I see this comment all the goddamn time on stream, and I don't know where it comes from. I'm going to keep it honest with you. What is the worm coming out of your chest? A worm, it's a tongue, and it's connected to a stomach mouth, which is the simple answer to that question. But the true answer, the true question, right, that someone else asked, and God bless them for doing so, what inspired the look of your avatar? I was debating for a long time how to approach this topic. It's not a dicey topic, it's not a bad topic, it's not a triggering topic. I just didn't know if I wanted to tell it now or if I wanted to save it for later. But I think that I can just do both, right? So the look of my avatar, the one you see before me, Dauntless Stark, the person that's talking to you right now, the person that's undulating, the person with the stomach mouth and the green and red hair. When I was creating my channel, I wanted not a brand. I don't care about that. I wasn't thinking about that. What I wanted was I wanted something that resembled me, that was not just me. This is way before I even considered doing a VTuber or PNG model, by the way. That happened entirely incidentally. Just good luck, in my opinion, that it happened. But you know, if anything, I am very willing to look within to see any flaws I have, and I'm not usually shy about pointing out when I messed up, what my flaws are. I mean, I wasn't always this way, but people live and people learn, right? I've always been really good at introspection, and I'm not the perfect person. I have made mistakes. I own up to most of them. But the one thing that I am guilty of is I am a bit of a glutton. I like to eat. And when I'm stressed, I don't care what I'm eating, even if it's mine or not, you know? I have been known to raid a fridge here and there, and it's not a good thing. And I don't just go into random people's homes and I raid the fridge. That's not what I'm saying. Sometimes I eat more than I should. Sometimes it's out of emotions. Sometimes it's out of stress. Sometimes it's out of boredom. I eat, I cook, and I eat. So when I wanted to create a character, I'm like, okay, gluttony. I'm a glutton, right? That's my vice. That's my sin. You know, everyone has their one that resembles them the most. And so I wanted to create something that truly meant that. And I did. Now, I will admit, and I've always admitted this too, that the original design that I had never really came to light. I couldn't just put pen to paper. I'm usually pretty good at artwork. This is a design that has taken years to get done, and it just looked like shit the entire time. I couldn't get it down. It was a fucking bugaboo. I couldn't nail it. So I said fuck it. I commissioned down, and I commissioned it from a dear friend, Be the Buzz, and after essentially holding her hand into what I wanted for the design, which God bless her heart, she was okay with, and you know, I own the design now. Like I don't mind giving her credit. 100%. I tweaked it every now and then. I've had redesigns, slight redesigns. The one you see now is from another friend who helped me. We were just fucking around with the PNG tuber model, and this is her design of my character, and I absolutely love it. Although I do love the design that has now been mine now, because I've tweaked it here and there. You know, the color, the scars, all that stuff. That's all stuff that I realized that I wanted to add in after. I really wanted to do something, you know. I really wanted to have someone who was ambiguous, someone who looked frightening, but was very kind. Someone who was, despite being as honest as they can be, always looking like they were hiding something, either it be a thought process or an emotion. And if you look just beneath the surface, that you can find their biggest problem is out for the public to know. That's what I wanted to do. And I love my design, and I love my character, and I love Dauntless. People can say that they are their brand, and in this case, I think it is true, because I've completely designed my character after most of the things that make me me. And I know I bitch a lot about artists being pretentious and stuff, and I do acknowledge that I'm falling into that crack a little bit here, because I'm doing nothing but just like stroking my own ego about how much I love my own design. And trust me, it doesn't fall on deaf ears. I'm well aware. When I started, I wouldn't think that we would make it this far. I would never think that I'd stream. I would never think that I'd upload daily. That was just a guffaw. Once upon a time, I did do video essays. That is something that I want to bring back at some point. I think that it's just too early for the channel right now. There's no point in doing a lot of work for every other month to be posted just for it to get 10 views. That's just the sad reality. I have a lot of ideas of like longer form videos that I want to do. I just need the audience to do it with, and that just takes time, and that's completely fine. In the meantime, though, I do have a lot of shorts that I want to do. I am dog shit at creating shorts. You know, I'm really bad at doing shorts. I don't have the mentality to make shorts, but that's all YouTube really wants. And I have a couple of ideas from some other channels that have been really inspiring into, you know, how to approach that too. And so we'll see. This means a lot to me. You know, every time I get a new subscriber, I make light of it in the Discord. You know, 153, 154, 150, you know, 72. It doesn't matter. You know, unless they're a bot, which is a chance, every single person that subscribes to my channel is a human being, is another person. I feel like people these days are so easily just condense all human into just chat or audience or to viewers, and they don't ever really acknowledge that the audience are people. The lives that they live, that's the audience too. And they're gonna have bad actors every now and then. Yeah, I mean, that's true, but that doesn't mean, you know, if you create a community, I think you are entitled to that community, no matter what. It's up to you to cultivate the community you want. And that's what I want to do too. That's all I've ever really wanted to do. I want to do a lot, not wanted. I'm far from being done. I'm far from giving up. And this is just the beginning. It's been a very long beginning, but I'd do it all over again. You know, I've had a lot of fun. There's been far more better times than there have been worse. And here's to another 150. Thank you, everyone who has subscribed. Thank you, everyone in the Discord server. You mean a lot to me. And if you ever need someone to talk to, or if you just want to ask a question or hang out, the Discord server is the place to be. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, my DMs are open. And I don't suspect that will change anytime soon. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you had a wonderful time. And I hope you have a wonderful time. Till next time we meet, I hope you have a fucking day. Peace.